Hi there, and welcome to Plugin Guru's Power Review for Stylus RMX. My name is John Skippy Limcool, and this is episode 3 of my series on Stylus RMX. We're going to be looking at drum kits and multis. The power that you can apply to them within this plugin is pretty cool, very exciting. So we'll be looking at that in this episode. The next episode and the final one for RMX is going to be showing you tips and tricks for how to use my Power Pack. Now, if you don't know about the Power Pack, go to pluginguru.com. I have a Power Pack both for Stylus RMX and a Power Pack for Native Instruments FM8, which provide custom patches that I've made for these plugins that are fun to use, cool sounds. You always need new sounds, new drum kits, new multis. I supported parts, which is something that wasn't supported ever before in RMX, and time designer templates. So there's a lot of stuff there to play with, and there's demo versions of both the FM8 and the RMX banks to check out and download for free. So let's get right into it. I want to get with kits first, and then we'll get to multis after that. Drum kits work with RMX in a different way than multis, in that the 8 timbres, instead of being loops, are used to load up drum sounds. And these drum sounds are found only in the drum kit mode. That's because this is a single sample in a specific area on the keyboard. For example, the kick drum, plays B and C. Then D and E are your snares. Then side stick is next on C sharp. Then D, claps, hi-hats, toms, ride. And then the cymbals is a group of cymbals that are mapped to. If you want to change something, all you gotta do is hit the folder button, scroll down to the kicks, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different categories, and then to the right in each of those categories are all the elements of kicks, and there's a ton. You won't find a lot of different like acoustic 18-inch, drum workshop, or it's more drum electronic dance. These kind of kicks. What I wanted to show you is this. I have a song that I've created inside of Logic that's just, it's 2 massive parts, with 2 sounds for massive I've made. The next thing I'm going to support after Stylus RMX is Native Instruments Massive, because it's a very powerful, confusing synthesizer. And lots of people have sent me notes saying that they wish that would be next, and so I think that's what we'll do next. And it's a good sounding synthesizer. It makes some cool sounds. So I've got a bass and a lead kind of thing, and I'm going to mute the drums to start with. So we got drums just going along with it. And I can change kits. And each kit's going to have a different personality. Here's Fire Dragon. Ugly Truth. They're all going to have different personalities because that's what you want to do. Now there's some cool tricks you can do with the drum kit once you've sequenced your part. And that's really what I want to focus on with this episode, because making kits, one cool trick you can do, by the way, is if you take 2 timbres and assign them to 2 kicks, then you're going to have 2 drum sounds that are kicks layered down on there on C. I use that a lot of times for toms, to take one element of a tom and then something else that'd be more like a longer decayed type of a tom and layer them together. A couple of the kits in the Power Pack, I've done things like that. But you can figure that out. That's not too hard to play around with. But what I want to show you is dealing with automating chaos and effects with your drum kit, either globally or else on a per drum basis. So to start with, let's go to the effect page. Reverb's very short, kind of little room thing. I want to make it longer. I'm going to turn it down. It's one of the auxiliary channels, and the way that works is insert effects are the inserts that are on that specific drum sound, and they're exclusive to that drum sound. Then you have 4 auxiliaries, and these can be shared by all the different loops or different drum sounds just by where you have your sliders over here for auxiliary 1, 2, 3, 4. You can automate these knobs. So I'm going to take this knob and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say MIDI learn control, and I'm going to touch that, and then I'm going to move there. And I want to do it to the kick drum also. So we'll touch this here and we'll say, oh, we got to do a MIDI learn here. So now when my sequence is playing, I can add that kind of crazy stuff. Working with multis has changed considerably from a couple of versions ago. 1.7 introduced a really powerful new feature called Host Sync that we'll take a look at. For talking about multis, I'm using a mock-up song I did real quickly. It's a bass line and a synth lead and a pad and some rhythm stuff comes in at measure 9. So we have something to work with because we know we want to build up a song around this. Because of Host Sync, I can just now hit play. There it is. What this means is now you can go to any of the factory multis. You can go to all the expander multis anywhere. So we're going to go to the Plug and Guru multis, and I have a folder called Club, and there's one here that we're going to play with. It's called Euro Shuffle Tech, and now since I have a kick that's so low and the bass is low, I'm going to take and immediately go to part 1. Have a little bit of low end. Let's stop at about 350 or so. It's going to sound better in the mix. Here we go. Cool. But I want the hi-hat to be more of an 8th note instead of a 16th note pattern. So I'm going to go over here and let's see what we can do. Let's hit solo. So we just hear the hi-hat part. Let's say no groove lock. And let's go over here instead, and let's use edit group to first go and select just quarter notes, then hit solo. So we just have a single guaranteed hit on each of those quarter notes, so we can hear now. It's on the downbeats, it's not on the upbeats, and for this we want it to be on the upbeats. So you go to the time shift by an 8th note, and here we go. Cool. And I want to add, from the user libraries, from Beatropolis, I want to add a Kevin Rankin rock drum groove. Now, when I play this, it's a little too busy. So I'm going to show you a trick. There's a lot of loops that you'll find as you're working with RMX that it does more than you need it to do. And there's a cool thing you can do. By changing the time meter to 2/4, it goes to just 2 meters. And I needed to pop a little more, so let's put a compressor on it. Vintage compressor, bring down the threshold so it's not quite so hot. Here we go. Cool. But now, what if I told you that without adding any MIDI file data to this track, we can automate soloing just a kick drum to start with, for example.